Patriots fans, get ready because there is something brewing in Foxborough that has everyone talking. After the latest win, one particular story started spreading, and it's got the entire fan base scratching their heads. And yes, it's about one of the biggest forces on this defense, Christian Barmore. The situation has stirred up questions, speculation, and maybe even a little concern about what's really going on behind the scenes with the New England Patriots. So, let's break this down. During the game, if you were paying close attention, you probably noticed something off. Christian Barmore didn't take a single snap in the first quarter. Not one. The defensive line took the field, and instead of number 90 playing his usual role of blowing up the opposing offense, it was Q's Tonga out there. And to be fair, Tonga has been absolutely sensational this season. A lot of people didn't expect him to make this kind of impact. He was seen as a depth guy, a solid addition to the rotation who could fill in when needed. But week after week, he's been making plays, holding his ground, and showing why he deserves to be on the field. Still, the question remains, why wasn't Barmore out there? This wasn't a case of an injury. He wasn't listed on the report. There was no indication during the week that he was dealing with any kind of physical issue. So when he didn't play that first quarter, it immediately set off alarm bells for everyone watching. Then, in the second quarter, Barmore finally checked in. And when he did, he came in hot. He played with that usual energy and power, making his presence felt almost instantly. Even though the box score might not show it, just one tackle recorded, he had multiple pressures and created chaos every time he was on the field. That's classic Barmore. The kind of guy who might not fill up the stat sheet, but completely changes the rhythm of an opposing offense. So then why the benching? Why did one of the Patriots' most dominant defenders sit out the entire first quarter of such an important game? After the final whistle, the story started to take shape. When asked about it, head coach Mike Vrabel gave a short but very telling answer. He said Barmore was benched for disciplinary reasons. That one sentence opened the floodgates of speculation. Vrabel went on to explain that his job is to protect the team, and when a player's actions don't line up with what the Patriots stand for, he has to make a decision in the best interest of the group. Simple, right? Maybe not. That statement raised even more questions than it answered. What exactly did Vrabel mean by protecting the team? Did something happen behind closed doors? Was there an argument, a missed meeting, or something more serious? These are the kinds of questions that naturally start floating around when you have such a vague explanation. For years, the Patriots have been known for their no-nonsense culture. Show up, work hard, respect the program. It's been part of their DNA since the Belichick era. Vrabel, having played under that same system, is clearly trying to maintain those standards. But when a player as talented and important as Barmore is suddenly benched, it sends a message. Discipline comes first, no matter who you are. And yet, this isn't some drama about a player losing focus or dogging it on the field. Barmore has been one of the anchors of this defense all season long. The guy has battled back from some serious adversity. Remember, he missed most of last year dealing with a blood clot issue, and ever since his return, he's been on a mission. Just last week against Cleveland, he racked up 6 pressures in only 30 snaps, completely disrupting the Browns' offense. He was a key reason why the Patriots managed to contain Dillon Gabriel, even forcing an intentional grounding penalty in the fourth quarter that shifted momentum in their favor. So, again, for someone playing at that level, being benched for even a single quarter is huge. After the game, the situation only got more mysterious. Reporters entered the locker room hoping to get Barmore's side of the story, but he declined to speak and left Gillette Stadium immediately. No comments, no clarifications, nothing. Just silence. That move, whether intentional or just emotional, only fueled the speculation further. Was he frustrated? Embarrassed? Angry about being benched? Nobody knows for sure, but it certainly didn't help calm the situation down. And that's what makes this so intriguing. Because when you look at this team right now, they've been building something really strong. The chemistry has been improving week by week. You see it on the sidelines, players celebrating together, offense hyping up the defense, even special teams getting in on the energy. It's been a tight-knit, united group, something that hasn't always been consistent over the past few seasons. So, to see someone like Barmore benched for disciplinary reasons makes you wonder if there's a deeper story brewing underneath all that positivity. Vrabel's quote keeps echoing in fans' minds. "My job is to protect the team." Those words sound simple, but they carry a lot of weight. Protect it from what, exactly? Was there something said or done that crossed a line? Did it have to do with effort, attitude, accountability? We might never get the full answer, but the phrasing makes it sound like it was more than just showing up late or missing a meeting. It feels personal, like something that could have impacted the unity or focus of the locker room. And that's why people are watching closely, because this defense, as good as it's been, can't afford internal issues right now. On the field, you could see the difference when Barmore wasn't out there in that first drive. The opposing offense moved the ball easily. There was less push up front, less disruption in the backfield, and it took until the second quarter for the defensive line to really settle in. Once Barmore came in, things changed fast. The pressure ramped up, the opposing quarterback had less time, and suddenly, the Patriots started to look like the defense we've come to expect. It's a reminder of just how important he is to this unit. Losing him, even for a few plays, makes a visible difference. Now, to Vrabel's credit, he didn't shy away from his decision. After the game, he greeted every player, including Barmore, with the same intensity. Cameras even caught them sharing a quick hug, which might suggest that things are fine now, that whatever the issue was, it's been handled internally. But then again, actions speak louder than words, and Barmore leaving the stadium without speaking only raises more eyebrows. Maybe he just wanted to cool off. Maybe he didn't want to make things worse by saying something in the heat of the moment. Whatever the case, this little incident is now part of a much bigger narrative. Because let's be honest, this team can't afford distractions. They're finally finding rhythm, finally stacking wins, and finally playing with the kind of balance fans have been waiting for. The defense is tough, the offense is improving, and the locker room energy feels alive again. The last thing they need is internal drama that could derail the momentum. That's why fans are hoping this was just a one-time thing, a moment of accountability that sends a message and then stays in the past. Still, it's hard not to wonder what really happened. Vrabel's tone was calm, but serious. He didn't sound angry. He sounded resolute. And that tells you everything about how he runs this team. He's building a culture where everyone is held accountable, no matter how talented or important they are. It's the kind of leadership that can create friction in the short term, but in the long run, it builds respect and consistency. Maybe that's what this was all about, a moment of discipline to keep the standard high, to remind everyone that the Patriots' identity comes before any single player. But here's the thing. Christian Barmore isn't just any player. He's the heartbeat of that defensive line, a disruptor, a game changer, a guy who can collapse the pocket and completely throw off an opposing game plan. And when you have someone like that, you want them on the field, not sitting on the sidelines. So whatever went down, both sides will need to make sure it doesn't linger. The Patriots have too much potential right now to let something like this snowball. So, as we wait to see how the situation unfolds, one thing's clear. Something happened that made Vrabel feel he had to make a stand. Maybe it was small, maybe it was bigger than we realized, but the message was sent loud and clear. No one is above the team. The hope now is that this becomes a learning moment, not a recurring storyline. Because if Barmore and the Patriots can move past this and keep that defensive front together and locked in, this unit has the chance to be one of the most dominant in the league. Now, while everyone was still buzzing about Christian Barmore and the mystery surrounding that first quarter benching, there was another storyline quietly unfolding that deserves just as much attention. It's about the running game, and more specifically, about Travion Henderson and the spark he brought to this offense. If you watch the game closely, you could feel the shift the moment he stepped on the field. After weeks of inconsistency and frustration in the ground attack, the Patriots finally looked like they had something clicking. But, as with everything in Foxborough lately, it came with a twist. Let's be real. Before this game, the run game had been a problem. Ramondre Stevenson hadn't quite found his rhythm. Antonio Gibson, before getting hurt, struggled with ball security. The offense had been too reliant on passing drives. And when you can't establish the run, everything else starts to feel forced. That's why Henderson's performance was such a breath of fresh air. He ran with vision, patience, and confidence. 10 carries for 75 yards doesn't sound like a massive stat line, but if you watch those plays, you saw how impactful they were. Every time he touched the ball, there was a sense of possibility. He waited for his blockers, found the gaps, and when he hit them hard. You could tell he was running with something to prove. But then came the fumble, the kind of mistake that takes all that momentum and throws it into doubt. The play itself looked promising. He broke through the line, powered toward the end zone, and then lost control of the ball right as he was about to finish the drive. It's the kind of moment that makes fans groan and coaches furious because it overshadows everything good that came before it. And the worst part? It's not an isolated issue. Fumbling has quietly become a real concern for this backfield. Stevenson has already lost multiple fumbles this season. Gibson had his share before the injury, and now Henderson joins the list. It's not just about losing possession, it's about trust. Coaches need to know that when they call a running play, the guy carrying the ball is going to protect it no matter what. Henderson's mistake didn't ruin his day, though. If anything, it showed that this team has depth and resilience. Vrabel could have benched him right there, but he didn't. He kept giving him touches, and Henderson responded the right way, by running harder, more focused, more disciplined. That tells you a lot about his mindset. He didn't let one mistake take him out of the game mentally. He stayed locked in and showed flashes of what he can become if he keeps developing. And honestly, that's exactly what the Patriots need right now. Young players who can take coaching, learn from their mistakes, and grow stronger because of it. Still, it's impossible to ignore how critical ball security has become. The Patriots turned the ball over twice in this game. One from Henderson's fumble and another from a bad interception by Drake May. May, to his credit, bounced back beautifully after that pick, throwing 3 straight touchdowns and showing incredible composure for a young quarterback. But turnovers are the one thing that can kill all progress. This team has been playing with so much energy and heart lately, climbing their way back into playoff contention. And if they want to keep that momentum, they have to clean up the mistakes. It's that simple. What stood out about this win, though, is that even with those errors, the team didn't fold. A few weeks ago, those mistakes might have broken them. They might have lost confidence or allowed the game to slip away. Not this time. There's something different about the vibe in that locker room now. You can see it in the way players celebrate each other's success. You can see it in how the defense rallies after a big stop or how the offensive line pushes for extra yards in crunch time. It feels like a team that's starting to believe again, and that belief might be the most dangerous weapon they have. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be the most shocking shakeup of the NFL offseason, whispers around the league suggest that Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans powerhouse running back, has set his sights on New England, choosing the Patriots as his next destination. Sources close to the matter hint that the move is less a strategic career choice and more a calculated disruption. Henry, a 2-time rushing leader and 2020 Offensive Player of the Year, might be looking to rewrite the balance of power in the AFC. For years, the Patriots have hovered in that curious limbo of contention. Strong, but not dominant. A team always feared, but rarely unstoppable. With Henry potentially in the backfield behind Mac Jones, the AFC East could be facing a seismic shift. Imagine the combination. Brady-era ruthlessness mixed with Henry's punishing style, a dual threat that could make New England a nightmare for defensive coordinators across the conference. Rivals are already reportedly scrambling to adjust their offseason plans, sensing that a Patriots-Henry combo could tilt playoff projections dramatically. League insiders are buzzing with speculation about how this move might impact not just the Patriots, but the entire AFC landscape. Could Henry finally get the playoff glory that eluded him in Tennessee? Or is this a bold gamble by New England, a team willing to bet on a single, game-changing talent to vault them back to the top? Social media has erupted with mock draft scenarios, highlight reels, and fevered what-if threads, each one building the narrative that Henry in New England isn't just possible. It might be inevitable. There's even talk that this move could inspire other marquee players to reconsider their options. If one of the NFL's most feared rushers decides to invade the AFC with the Patriots logo on his chest, the ripple effect could reshape free agency itself. Fans and analysts alike are holding their breath, waiting for the first official confirmation. But for now, the rumor mill is running at full throttle. And if the buzz is true, the AFC may never look the same again. Derrick Henry to the Patriots? Stranger things have happened, but in this case, the shockwave might just be legendary. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.